This episode is part of a series entitled A Shero's Journey. Every good story has a hero, or a shero in this case, and every hero and shero faces a similar set of challenges. Every few weeks, I'm going to introduce you to an incredible woman, a real woman, just like yourself, who has overcome real challenges to create a wonderful, fulfilling life. My hope for this series is to not only empower you, but to encourage you to trust in yourself and to know that no matter what you face, you can come through it happier and bolder and brighter than you ever thought possible because you are stronger and more capable than you realize. So pop in those earbuds, my friend, and let's go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Great Girlfriend's Guide to Life podcast. I'm your host, Amy Blair Lawson, and today I have a wonderful guest. You're just going to love her. I have Shannon Beardsmore with me. Shannon and I have the same mentor, Kathleen Cameron of Diamond Academy and House Manifestation. Shannon is a best-selling author. She just published this wonderful book called Love Letters. I'm going to get her to tell you all about it in just a minute. If I could describe Shannon in 3 words, it would be love, light, and purposeful. That's my girl. That's my girl. So anyway, Shannon did not start out as a best-selling author, but I'm going to have her tell you all about it. So welcome, Shannon, to the Great Girlfriend's Guide to Life podcast.
Oh my God, Amy, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you. You got me all teary up already. I just am so excited to share with your audience just some love. I just want to give them love. That's all. I'm definitely here on this earth to hug a lot of people and give everyone love. So
that is you, my girl. That is you. That is you. So as I said before, you didn't start out as a best-selling author. Tell us where you started in life, where you live now. Tell us.
All righty. So for me, I reside right now in Nova Scotia, Canada, on the East Coast. If you know, I was actually born here. My dad was in the military, so I moved around a lot. So I actually, my spirit loves to, after a couple of years, move. So it's so funny. I ended up marrying somebody that his job took us overseas. So he was a hockey player and we used to live in Germany for 12 years. My oldest was born there, and I have 2 other, my oldest is 21. I have an 18-year-old and a 7-year-old. And so my journey has been so crazy, but living in different countries and all around the world, but kind of crazy. I'm just thinking about it right now. I lived in Europe.
So, sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Ein bisschen.
Yeah. I lived in Switzerland for a few years, and I just remember the basic stuff, where's the bathroom, how you doing, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, at the time in my life, I'm like, zweimal Bier bitte.
Oh, yeah, but beer, please.
Actually, 2 more beer, Amy.
See, my German is very bad. Oh my gosh. Anyway, you all can't see Shannon, but when Shannon told me she had a child in her 20s, my jaw just dropped. Shannon has 0 wrinkles and she just radiates youth. And I had no idea she had a child that young. I didn't even think she was over 35. But anyway, keep on going, Shannon. Tell us more. We love you.
It's so funny you say that. I always say it's because I don't act my age. People are always shocked. I'll be 48. And actually, I was telling a friend that yesterday, and a good friend, she's like, why do I always forget you're 48 years old, in 2 months? But I was just I don't know. I don't feel it. The more of this work I do, the more growth on myself I do, the younger I feel, right? I definitely got wrinkles, Amy. I ain't gonna lie. Some Botox too.
Oh my gosh. Well, Shannon, tell my listeners what was going on in your life when you put pen to paper and wrote this lovely book.
So Love Letters is a jour-nook. That's what Deepika's calling it, my publisher. She's calling it a jour-nook. So it is a story. There's stories of Shanyisms in there. So I come up with the most random things. One of them is go sniff a tree. Seriously. But if you think about it, when you get into nature and you smell a tree, if you have really good memories of Christmas, for me, that's what it reminds me of, Christmas, right? So it grounds me and puts me in a different state. But even just getting into nature and smelling nature around you, but definitely has a lot of Shanyisms in there. And what happened is pretty much 4 years ago, like I have to, like Kathleen has been a huge component and lighthouse for me. She saved my life. I have to say, she saved my life. She was a lighthouse for me in my darkest days. And I just didn't know. We met actually in a bathroom in Florida. We took a picture because, I talked to everyone. I talked to my kids, hate it. I talked to everyone. And then I just was like, girl, I like your style, I like your vibe. And this is even before she did the work with Bob Proctor. If you're following Kathleen, you know that she studied with Bob. But I don't know. Like I came to her in a really dark place and like I did the work. I did the work she did and she showed the work. And I started doing this work and I started growing and I started having all this awareness and it was just so crazy. And as I grew, I just was like, realized how much I was tolerating bullshit all around me. Like, bullshit behavior from myself too, right? Like pushing my worthiness down and not being truly who I am. Like I was a hairstylist and a mom and all the things, but like I was so freaking sad, Amy. I was so sad inside. And the picture of like when they show mental health and they show like Robin Williams and those people that are just smiling and like I understand that pain because I was there. Yeah, you too, right? So like I like feeling that and knowing that despair, like now that I'm out of it, I just want to help as many people as I can. So love letters came about when I was wanting to separate from my marriage. So my marriage, like he's a wonderful person, a wonderful dad, all the things. And that was the hardest thing. But I just felt like, I don't know, we weren't growing together. It was really like, if you're ever in a place in your life and you just know you're supposed to be doing something else and you don't pay attention, things just keep getting worse.
Yeah, it's easy to write it off initially as a bad day, right? We're just having a bad day, or I'm just having a bad day, and then those silences just get bigger and bigger, or you talk
Yeah.
around them, right? Anyway,
Well, we were ships. We were ships. We are definitely ships. I was seeing a different way. I was begging him to come with me and to grow. So, like, if you're listening to this and you're in a season in this in your marriage, there are people that I've watched restore their marriage because of this work. And there are some people that had to separate to grow to be the person that they're supposed to be. So, like, there is hope all around, right? Like, whatever it is. I just don't want to be an advocate to say, like, oh, yeah, you're going to go through personal growth and development and you're going to leave your partner. That's not true, right? So, like, it's whatever it is for your path. And so, anyways, I didn't know how to do it. Like, I really didn't know how to do it. And I was just like, I was so sad and so scared. And I remember sitting on, we lived on a lake at the time, and I would go in the morning on my paddleboard and just sit and talk to God. I'm like, God, how am I going to do this? Like, I can't see past this. It's so painful. So I just started writing letters to what I wanted to see in my life, and a love letter to the love of my life. So what I thought at that time was this energy of a person that would keep me safe, that would make me feel this way, all the things. And then I had the epiphany is like, girl, you got to be the love of your life. And that was massive for me. So I was like, I can't attract anything like that in my life because we're mirrors, right? So if I don't be the love of my life, how can I attract the love of my life? And so that shifted everything for me. And so then I just started writing like letters to myself, like, you're brave. Some days it would be one word, like, bitch, you a badass. And then some days it would be a letter to be like, I forgive you for like, there's certain things in your like forgiving, like the 24-year-old version of me that never spoke up, the 30-year-old version of me that just kept pushing her feelings aside and saying, I got to do this for my kids. So there was versions of me that I had to like love on. So I would send her love letters and write her love letters. And then I was sharing this with you, but I had like a pivotal, I don't even know what to say. I'll kind of say like an exorcism or something, an experience and a half in Sedona. And it changed everything for me, but I did that.
awakening, an awakening in it.
Awakening, yes. Break open, awakening, whatever you want to call it, fall down on your face. Yeah. So it was something that was the catalyst for the separation to allow myself to move through it.
Wow.
So do you want me to share that?
Share whatever you want, Shannon. Share whatever you want. I love you. I love your story. The world needs to hear your story.
So what happened is I always call them nudgies, right? So you get a little nudge, you get a little nudge, and then they get louder and they get louder. And then things have to be taken away from you to pay attention to the nudge, right? Like I said before. And so I was being called to Sedona. So if you are in Arizona, you lucky buggers, because the energy is so incredible there, but the life force there, the land just feels different. And for me, it does too. So maybe I'm supposed to live there. I don't know. But I was called to Sedona and I was on a Zoom call and there was a girl walking and there was a cactus. And I was like, girl, where are you? And she was like, her name was Monica. And Monica's like an angel to me. So Monica says, I live in Arizona, Shani. And I was like, you're kidding me. I was like, I'm being called to come there. I was like, I'm being called to Sedona. And she said to me, she's like, well, come, I'll take you to Sedona. And I was like, okay, I'm coming. So I looked up flights, Amy, and it was like something like dirt cheap, like I think 333, something like that I had to pay attention to.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. And this is in July, guys, like Sedona, the summer, July. But I just knew my nudges was like, my nudgy was like, go, go, go. And so I was like, I'm going. So I went and we went on this trail. It was called a peace trail. And we had a guide and he was so lovely. He would just like, let's sit in the juniper trees and talk about the vortex. Like it was so like this, but my brain was so full because my heart was so heavy and I just didn't know what I was doing. I don't know if anyone can experience that, like being so freaking full, but trying to live your life and knowing the work too. Like I know like spiritual growth and all the stuff, but like in my heart, I just had this rock. It was so heavy. And as we were walking, he looked at me. He's like, I feel like you have something to share. I'm like, nope, not today on call. Not right now. I'm not ready right now. And so then we walked and then there was this beautiful tree. And I was like, I think I just need to sit here for a minute. And I leaned into the tree and I just sobbed from like literally from my toes. Like I just sobbed. And the guy said to my friend, put your hand on her heart. And like it just, when she did that, just like boom. And after that, I was like, oh, what a release. I feel great. I didn't know I needed that. And then as we were walking down the mountain, I was like getting angry and like angry, like I thought my head was going to pop off. So I was like, oh my God, I'm dehydrated. I'm going to the hospital. What's going on with me?
Heat stroke.
Yeah, exactly. And so like as we were walking, and this was like early in the morning because we went at like 4:30 in the morning. We went really early because it's summer in Sedona, right? So I just kept getting angrier and angrier and angrier. And then when I got to the bottom of the mountain, we got in the car, put the air conditioning on, got my journal out. And in the journal, I just started writing. I was so mad at him. I was so mad at like, I was like, your indifference is killing me. You never choose me. I'm always last. And like, I just journaled it and journaled it. And then I started like getting sick. And I got sick like 17 times. And poor Monica was like, dude, do I need to take you to the hospital? I'm like, I don't know. She put some like really calming music on it and I like passed out in the back seat. I woke up and I was like, I think I'm good. I got sick again. And then I fell back asleep. And then it was like having an ayahuasca experience without taking the medication. But what happened is I realized after and like reflecting on it, I had thrown up so much anger that was stored in my body. And so like I had a shower the next day, like or shower when I got back and I woke up the next day and I was like, I'm leaving him. And it broke my heart because I love this person, right? So I got home and I was like, I have to go. Like, I just have to go. I have to follow this nudge. I have to go. I love you, but I can't live like this anymore. And so it was really like, he said, okay. Like, he didn't fight for me, nothing. And it just was like, okay. So that was when my love letters got really, really deep because I was heartbroken. Like, this was going to be my person, right? So, yeah, I had to take it in my own heart, my hand, and mend it back. And I did that with letters to myself.
Oh, I love the way you said that.
Mm-hmm.
Put your heart in your hand and mended it back together. Wow. Wow, Shannon. We've talked about this the other day that every good story has a hero or a shero, right? And every hero or shero faces a similar set of challenges. So I'm sure you didn't wake up intending to, when you got married, you didn't intend to get divorced. Nobody intends to get divorced and get married, right? And life happens. And then when there in Sedona, once you made that decision, did you hesitate at all once you made that decision, or did you just say, no, this is it?
No, when I went to Sedona, I knew, like, he picked me up from the airport and it was like the first thing I said. Like, I knew it right there. It was it honestly was the hardest decision I ever had to make because I mean, I have three children with him. I saw our life like, you know what I mean? Like, we're in our 40s, right? We already lived a different life. Like, we lived in Europe. He played hockey. Like, we lived this incredible life, and then we came home and like we were no one saw like even the kid. It was really difficult for the kids because no one saw unhappy Shannon and Colin. They just saw no way. Everyone was floored because it was always like no one saw the sadness, right? And I think he felt it too, like the loneliness, right? Like it was like it really is the loneliness in it was a loneliness in our marriage because we couldn't find ourselves back to each other. And I knew that if I didn't leave, then that would take my life because I was really in a bad headspace when I first started with Kathleen and learning about teaching about learning about yourself. But at this point I knew I just had to. So when I got back, I was like, nope, it's done. Like I have to move on. And then after that, like we were like 3 weeks, we split everything and we've been amicable since. Like it's so crazy because what your thoughts, what you think about, you bring about for sure, what you feel. And honestly, I just projected out that I was going to have like an amicable separation. We're going to do this in love because we love our children. And we did. Like even today, like yesterday we had a great chat. He was over here, great chat about like our future and all the things. And we even joke, I'm like, when I move to Arizona and I'm a billionaire, I'll buy you a house on the street so you can come. Like it's so great that we and we were just talking about it, like our kids, like our first and foremost, our love for our kids is why our relationship is so beautiful.
Oh, that's wonderful. If only, right? If only every couple who split could split like that.
Mhm.
The couples, the children, everybody's lives would be better. Shannon, when you decided to make that shift, that change in your life, who were your earliest supporters or mentors or guides when you began this journey?
I'm so grateful, and I'll ever say, like Kathleen Cameron, thank you from the bottom of my heart. She showed me how to love myself, and because I was able to love myself, I was able to stand up. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like
That's
yeah, like stand up and stand up in a crowd and and just be me, right? She taught me that foundation. Going through the separation, I had hired Eric Bigger as my like a fitness coach, but he was more than that. Like he is a frequency lounge. He's a magical human being that honestly, if it wasn't for him, I don't know where I would be. Like he really helped me through it. So like I can't even like I'm just, he's like a brother to me. He is just such an incredible human being, and he was definitely we worked out 4 times a week together. Like I was with him 4 times a week. He held me accountable, but also in a way that he like it was like consistency. So his company is called Spiritual Fitness. So it's not just working out, like we pray affirmations and like just speaking with him, he just allowed a space for me to really see the woman that I am.
nice. And you know what, folks, we'll include Eric's information too in the show notes along with Shannon's because people need
Oh
to know
yeah.
Eric too. Eric radiates love and light. Just you
He's
can't
incredible.
even see a picture of Eric. He's radiating love and light.
I
Yeah.
know it's his smile. It's just like a 1,000 watt smile. Yeah. He did the work and he was able to hold a space for me
Mhm.
that allowed me to come up to. And that was really important in my life because I always was like had a really a worthiness issue. Like I just didn't see myself worthy. I would do great things. And then I come back to this empty, unworthy identity. So I would have this push pull, right? So like my nervous system was always flared because I was like here and there and here and there. And I don't know, like as a mom, like I was always overstimulated. But he taught me movement is medicine.
Okay.
And that to me was everything. So I really dived into journaling and I had a bike. I would get on that bike and I would sing at the top of my lungs. Sometimes they had a lot of swear words in the songs.
Sometimes they're the perfect words, Jana. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's the perfect word.
Yeah. And so like it helped me feel, because this is the thing, like a lot of people are like, oh, well, you want to think positive, but yeah, you want to think positive, but you also have to feel the feeling and you have to move through it, because like me throwing up anger, like that was stored in my body. Who knows what could have come out later on in life.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so we are spiritual beings having human experience. So like anything in your body, like and comes up, like I got a sore thumb. I always look it up. What's the spiritual meaning of a sore thumb?
I do
Like
the same thing. I really do, because when people come to me for RTT, they come to me for one thing, but it turns out to be another, right?
Mhm.
And when they heal that worthiness wound in them, really wonderful things happen, like their blood pressure goes down, or any ailment they have seems to either go away, or, oh my God, my so-and-so, my sciatica is so much better. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's so funny because I remember working out with Eric and I was like, yeah, I'm like, Eric, this is so weird. I got a chafed armpit. Like, who gets a chafed armpit? Like one armpit, not two, one. And so I was looked it up. It was like, what a spiritual meaning of a left chafed armpit.
And what was it, Shannon? Can you share?
Wasn't speaking your truth.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes.
Can't make this shit up, right? So I was like, oh, okay. Or not being seen or something along the lines of like not just being fully expressive or something. And I was like, all right, I'm listening. Right? So
Got my attention, God. You got my attention. Yeah.
absolutely.
So Shannon, what major obstacles did you face once you made, okay, so you're doing the work, you were loving yourself, mending your own heart, you made the decision to separate, you had these wonderful people around, you had your tribe around you, so to speak. What major obstacles did you face at the same time that you had to get through?
Honestly, if you want to say the one thing is your thoughts, my thoughts. It was my thoughts. Like, really, that's it, period.
Yeah.
You're going to like, one, like, you're never going to find love again. You don't deserve that kind. Because a lot of it, too, I felt a lot of guilt for my kids. My little guy navigated it through it, and he's still navigating, but like, my two older ones found it really difficult because they didn't see anything, right? So they didn't see the pain that I was going through, and him too. Like I know that he felt it too, right? So the thoughts and minding my mind through this process of projecting what I wanted to see in my life, opposed to sitting in the ick of it all.
Yes.
So that was the biggest obstacle, I would say, is like, okay, like I'm getting like I have a great place now. It has great energy, all the things, and moving into that place was scary, right? Because it was like I hadn't been on my own. Like I went from my parents' house to like my partner's house, right? Like and we lived in Europe together and then came home, and like I've never really lived on my own, right? At one time for like 3 months, but that was it. It was just a party time too. Right. But yeah, so I would say it would be minding my mind and like really diving into what do you want to see in your life, Shan? And what is it that like the projection of my imagination, the projection of my imagination. And that's just, I just kept repeating that over and over again and going into my imagination and seriously writing it out. So a fun exercise I would do is I would go in my imagination, because listen, healing sometimes hurts. It does. Absolutely. I'm not saying it doesn't, but it also can be really fun. So like, honestly, I would go in my imagination and I'm like, all right, let's play. Where are we going? So one of the ones, this is so fun. I was like, I'm going to be Taylor Swift's life coach because she has the biggest platform in the world. And she teaches this work of self-love to little girls. That is going to be such an impact in the world, right? And then I was just playing like I was on tour and I was bringing all my favorite people with me and all their kids were dancing on the sideline. And then I woke up and then I had a call and it was from, where's her boyfriend or her husband play?
Kansas City.
So I got a call on my phone. It was from Kansas City. And I was like, oh my God,
Taylor's calling.
Taylor's calling from her boyfriend's house. And it was just something else. But it was just so funny because I was just like, oh, and it made me in a higher frequency. So if you're going through a time right now, it's like the projection. So like, of course, I'm not attached to that. Another one I have is that I'm sitting on Drew Barrymore's couch and we're talking about love letters. And then she's like, and like the way she speaks, I'm not going to do it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but you know,
I love Drew Barrymore.
I know she's so sweet. And like just talking about love letters and just like how like love can, and then she hires me as her personal love coach. Like I just play around in this stuff. Like, am I attached to it? No. But do I love it and have fun with it? Yes. So to answer your question, Amy, it really was the projection of my thoughts and really, really minding my mind. Because I think when you're going through a broken heart, you can allow your mind can go down to a different rabbit hole, like really a rabbit hole. And so for me, I was just like really so cautious of one, who I was talking to, who was being around and what I was watching. So like I would go to bed really early and get up really early because that nighttime would be the time where I think my thoughts would go a little crazy, especially if I was alone, like my kids being at their dad's. And yeah, so I was like, nope. You're turning in.
I often call 11 p.m. the weird hour. So if you're going through something big in your life, you need to be asleep before 11 p.m. or you're probably going to be awake all night going down that rabbit hole.
That's it. I love that analogy. I'm going to, like, I normally go, like, my bedtime's like 9:30. I'm asleep by 10, but mine will be by 10. So it's like, if you're past 10, you're going to be up, you little weirdo.
Yeah, there you go. I think you told me you grew up in the Catholic faith, right?
Yes, I did.
Pretty strict family. I grew up in a very strict religious upbringing as well. My father had been in the military. I don't know about you, but I was taught to hide my feelings. Don't have any feelings. Better behave. Do this, do this, do this. You better put a smile on your face. And when we grow up, we put this mask on and people don't see our pain. So when you decided to separate from your marriage,
yeah,
and no one saw what was happening, did you get any pushback from your family or the people in your church community at all? And if you don't want to talk about that, if that's too personal.
Yeah, no, I'm an open book. And the reason why I'm an open book, because it's the same as the title of the series, the Shero, because if she can do it, I can do it. And that's my analogy too. Like if she can do it, I can do it. So like I'm so vulnerable and I share a lot, sometimes too much. My mom's like, why'd you put that on social media? Why were you crying on social media? Like, don't do that. And I was just like, no, I have to, because I have to put this out there so that people can see the healing so they can do it too. So the pushback, I think that everyone was in shock. I think it was kind of, everyone was in shock. And it really was a little bit of a blurry time. So even if you're going through this right now, I just want to hold space for the listener right now. Like if you're going through this, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like you're going to get through it. And yeah, just hold some space and love for you. I just felt that right now. I had to share that. So as for like having us, like I was told that to stay married, right? Like to work through this, like you'll get through this. And I was just like, it didn't resonate with me in my body. It was like, no, and I had tried everything. It's not that like, and I just want to share this too for the people listening. Like, it's not like I said, okay, I'm dipping. Like this has been going on for years, right? That I felt like we really were, it was, the last 3 years was the hardest, but before that, it was going on that we were slipping away from each other and it was a slowly drift and I saw it happening. And the more I tried and the more I'd say like, okay, let's do this together. Or let's go to this together. We went through therapy together and I would leave therapy and I'm like, oh my God, I hate you more than I went in because we have to talk about the problems. And then I was just like, this just feels so icky. So I literally did try everything that I think that I was capable of doing. And I think he did too, into the best capacity he could. I did get pushed back, but also I know now, like boundaries wise, like for a family, like that's their opinion and they're coming from their consciousness and their thoughts and their fears and whatnot. They don't know what's right for Shannon. They don't know what's right in my body. They're not in my marriage. They weren't in that. So I can't take opinions or advice from people that are not in my shoes. And I just want to share that with anyone who's listening and like don't don't ask for advice. You got to go within in something like this. You really have to, like I went within. Like that's really the best way I can say how I came out was I went within. And I just asked and I kept asking until it was like really, really prominent, like the nudgies.
Yeah.
They like, no, you got to do this. This is your path.
I don't know about you, but when I ask for guidance, I literally say to God, show me so clearly I can't screw this up, you know? Did you do that too?
I actually, it's so funny because I remember when going into Kathleen's millionaire program, I was like, it was hard for me. Like I watched her for 2.5 years and my worthiness. So like I would go to the grocery store and I wouldn't even buy a tank top for myself, but I would buy my kids $700 skates. But like I couldn't even get the grocery store. Like we have like a little Joe Fresh section. And I couldn't even buy myself like a tank top. Right. So purchasing something for myself, my well-being, like I was like, what? This is so crazy. But I did. I was literally rolling on my bed going, God, if this is for me, you need to throw me an anvil. This is hard. It hurts in my body. So I love that. Like it's like pray big and ask for like big signs.
Yes.
And also now what I do is honestly, when I'm going through stuff, I just ask in such a way, it's like, God, if this isn't for me, unravel it in such a beautiful way that it's not painful. Like, I don't want to live, like, I don't want to say I don't want to live in pain. No one does, but like, I want to live my life in love and see the love, right? So that's why I think that we have such a beautiful co-parenting relationship now is because I just see it in love. There are times where it's annoying and things come up. And honestly, I can say within the year, like it'll be 2 years this summer, we've had one argument, like one actual like verbal like argument that was like, and yeah, it was recently actually. And as we were arguing, we were like, why are we upset? Like we're speaking the same thing, right? So it was actually really cool to watch both of us be able to come back to base camp, which is our kids, right? So it was so funny. But like going back to what I was saying is like operate in love. So if it doesn't feel good, if it's scary, it's different than fear of like not doing it, right? Because there's two different things. Like our bodies are like designed to like, that's a bear, run.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this isn't a bear in this situation, right? Like that you got to go live on TikTok, right? Like you're not getting chased out of bear. Someone needs to hear your voice, right? That's a different fear. So like for me, it's like, how can I do this in so much love? Okay. So I'm scared to press play to go live on TikTok because I got to talk and I feel like a dork, right? Like these are things we have, right? And so anyways, it's like, okay, so this is not I'm not gonna die from this. I'm just a little nervous. I'm gonna push past my comfort zone, right? So I don't know where I was going with that, but I'm just saying like doing it with love. So Shannon, who is this going to help? It might help somebody to hear this story, right? It might help someone. She did it. I can do it.
Yes.
Right?
You're giving them permission, if you will, because there so many of us in that place go, you know, what are my parents going to say? What's the church going to say? And I think you're going to empower people. We hear this to say, well, you know, Shannon did it and Shannon went through the same things I went through and she did it. I can do it. Like you said, she did it. You can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Shannon, along this journey, when you got into personal growth and development, you decided to separate from your marriage, you're doing the work. Did you ever meet anyone along the way or come across a situation that at first appeared to be really positive, only to realize, no, it wasn't what it appeared, or he or she wasn't as they appeared to be initially?
I think that when we are going through stuff, we match the mirrors. So I have to say this story. That's really funny. So Deborah, I got to give her a shout out. So Deborah Gatola, she was my mentor when I joined Kathleen as a student, and she's a big sister to me now. Like she is, and we've gone through it. So I think this is a good teaching. I don't think she'll care that I share this. So we were actually, we become co-workers, right? Because we both work for Kathleen. And we had gone through a situation where she was having a feeling about me and I was having a feeling about her. And it was difficult. And I remember Kathleen saying, like, this is hard to navigate because the love we have for each other, but we just were in such an egocentric state that we just couldn't get past it. So, like, the beginning, Deborah was my like mentor too. Like, she got me to like a space, and then the situation that happened, it was only because we loved each other so much. And then it was a couple months. And then like we had a team meeting in May, and I still remember it was my birthday. And then we were going out and she didn't come. And like, it was just like, just stupid stuff. Right. And anyways, when we came together, that we have grown so much from that encounter because we had to look inside. And Kathleen said, you guys are mirrors. You guys got to look inside. And so we both like, I was like, I fucking love you. Excuse my language. But I was like, I love you. And she's like, I love you too. And we both held space, which this is the work, right? So like in your life, if you have people that it's not, this taught us massively things about ourselves that we were able to grow from, but also come to with love. So along my journey, I did have friends that I had to let go of. And so there's a lot of people that come into personal growth and development, and they realize as their awareness grows, they're just not aligned with people in their life. And that is okay because we're all energy. So sometimes they have to fall away for you to sit at different tables.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. So that with Deborah and I was beautiful because we both learned, but I did have friends along the way that just kind of fell off because I was ascending and we just couldn't hold frequency. So I'm going to tell you a little bit, like, I don't know, like, I mean, your listeners probably know this, but like frequency is like language, right? So like you're starting to, I remember when I first started to go through Kathleen's program, I had like a group of friends that just all fell off at the same time. It was like, what the actual heck just happened, right? And it was because they just couldn't speak my language because I was in a different frequency. I was learning to love myself. I wasn't acting in certain patterns that it was no longer serving me. So they had to go. And it's okay. I still love them. I send them love, but like, it's just that we weren't aligned anymore.
Yeah. And if I may add right here, what I hear you saying too, is that when you get into this work, you're careful what you put into your mind. You don't have the same kind of conversations you used to have. You're very aware of, I mean, it sounds woo-woo, but it works, right? You're very aware of what you're vibrating. When you walk into a room, you can feel people, you can feel what's happening, and you can easily go, no, this isn't for me. I'm not going to have this conversation anymore. I love you, but I'm not having this conversation anymore because you guard your energy. It's your duty to yourself to guard your energy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. So like, yeah, who you sit at the table with, what your thoughts are, like, what are you speaking out your mouth? Like, if you surround yourself, if there's a person in your life that's like always talking stuff about other people or anything like that, it's like, I always just like, this is my trick. And this is, I tell sometimes students, I'm like, okay, it's Christmas time. You're going to be around your family. Stuff's going to come out. You might not be aligned anymore. If you hear something you don't love, just get up and say, I got to pee.
Exactly. I tell people the same thing. Yeah.
I got to pee.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I got to pee. Oh, I can't talk right now. I'm like, do you mind? I'm going to pause you right there. I got to go pee. And then, you know what? Like, you don't have those situations. You don't have to go pee so much. Because as you grow, it's just because you're putting up boundaries, and then those are energetic boundaries, and then you don't have those situations in your life anymore.
They fall away.
Yeah,
they just fall away. I say to all my RTD clients, because I make an audio of everybody, and part of that audio I say to them in this audio, when you walked into a room, people feel your power. And the people
Mm.
who are emotionally healthy and like minded are attracted to you like the most powerful magnet in the world, and the rest just fade away.
Amen. I love it.
And that's
Amen.
the experience they have. The rest
Yep.
just fade away. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
Shannon, on this journey, you discovered your strengths. I heard you say several tools you use. I'm going to say what I heard, and you tell me if there were more. You journaled. Obviously, you journal. Love
Yeah.
letters. You said you went to therapy and you attended Diamond Academy's coaching program, Millionaire. What else? Anything else you did that worked for you?
So honestly, one of the biggest components that put it all together was definitely movement.
Ah,
Movement. Like I went to Kathleen's Rise retreat. It was a year later after being in like this, like as a student. I was a student for 6 months and then I was on her team. And then a year later went to Mexico to a Rise retreat. And that's when I met Eric and he had a workout. I was an athlete. Like I grew up like always on all different sports teams, right? And so I just stopped. And like when you go through stuff, like when you just are, you don't love yourself, you just don't have that energy to move. So I just didn't do anything. Like I look back at pictures and I'm just like, I just send that person so much love because I'm just like, wow, like I could just see how unhappy that body was, right? Like it has nothing to do, there's no shame, no guilt around it. I just send love, right? And so I did his workout and I was like, gosh, I didn't die. So then he had did the post that he was taking on clients, and I was like, "Can I be one of your clients?" And then it just went from there. So doing all this, and actually, like one of the things I tell everybody when they like, "What is your daily method of operation?" Your DMO, like that is so imperative because a lot of people think it's just like, "Oh, I got to send emails out. I got to do this. I got to do that." But like when I do mine, like it's like I make sure that there is at least three things for me to come back to God or source, whatever you want to call it, Kuna Matata. But for me, I get up in the morning, I have a Shani power hour, and then there's two times in the day I either get in nature or I definitely have, I call them napitations, because when I first started learning this work, I never had a meditation before. A guided meditation, I could get through 5 minute guided meditation, maybe, but I was just like, that was painful because I was in fight or flight, right? So when I started actually like regulating my nervous system, like I didn't even know it was unconscious. I was just listening to these meditations and I'd fall asleep because I was so tired, right? So my family,
feeling you're
yeah,
tired. Yeah.
my family would call them naptations because I'd be like, I'm going to do my meditation. They're like, sure, you're going to have a napitation, you're going to nap. And I'm like, what does it matter? Like, I'm going to do both.
I love that. I love that description, a navitation.
Yeah. So I think having non negotiable time for yourself, because I love it's Esther Hicks, I heard it from, where she said that, like, if you take a vacuum and you're vacuuming carpet and you're just running it around and you don't plug it in, like, what's the point, right? You got to plug it into source. You got to come back to your creator, to your God essence inside of you.
Yes.
So that is an actual like non-negotiable for me, and I made sure that I had non-negotiables. So now I used to plug it in my phone and like would put it in as like a like at 11:11 222 333 prayer, right? Like, but now I don't have to do that now. Like now it's just like it's ingrained in me. So like for one thing too, for me, I love having a tubby, a bath. I know. What are you? What are you for? A tubby? I love having a bath because the water grounds me. So I like I have a tub and then I'll go and have a meditation. So like I really very, very super conscious of when I feel like overexpressed or if I need to overexpress or give love. I make sure that I fill up my cup first because when my cup is filled up, then I can fill other people's cup up. But it's not your job to fill up my cup. It's my job to fill up my cup.
Yeah.
So I actually encourage people to make sure that in your before you go and I just gonna send out these 30 emails, right? Do a 5 minute like meditation. Close your eyes, just sit there for 5 minutes, get into a flow state, and then send the emails because that energetic drift will have such a different connection if you do it then than just rushing and bustling and pushing it out.
Perfect. Oh my gosh. So Shannon, what valuable insight? Well, let me ask this again. We already know your valuable insights you gain, girl. You're a walking valuable insight. I already know how you're sharing this with the world in your book, The Love Letters. But what advice would you give someone who's hearing this today? What would you say? And then everything you've said has resonated with them and they're ready to do something. What would you say to them?
For one, get around people that will hold a flashlight for you. That's 100%. Like the best thing I did was have somebody in my corner to hold me accountable, right? Get yourself a love letters journal, please. Yeah. And just start loving on yourself. Because to be honest with you, I know it sounds so cheesy to love on yourself, right? But like, we don't get what we want. We get who we think we are.
Yeah.
So that being said, it's like an identity piece of you. So like, I know that like dying to an old identity over and over again, because that old identity got me to this place. And that old identity got me to and I don't want to say old, it's just the version of me there, right? So if you're listening to this, yes, find someone to hold a flashlight. And I mean like that has a frequency flashlight. Oh, that's so good. A frequency flashlight, right? Because that will hold the space for you and where you desire to go. RTT helped me too, rapid transformation therapy. So book in with Amy and move that. But yeah, get yourself a journal. And if it's not mine, that's okay. But get yourself a journal and journal, because journal is a pen to paper. You can move the emotion, right? So like if you are upset, move the emotion, pen to paper. If you are happy, move the emotion, because if you're in a flow state and a happy state, when you write, you're a magnet. Your magnet is on. So you're going to attract, your magnet's on anyways, no matter what. But like when you want, like when you're like calling something in and you're in a flow state and you just write it out, okay, that's fasted. That's like supersoning your time to get it. Right. So yeah.
Well, I don't know about you, but what I tell my clients, if you have trouble loving on yourself, get a photo of little you. Like this is little me at 6. And by this age, little me had gone through so much. And it helps me remember that this is whose nervous system is trying to run everything. That scared little 6-year-old who'd been through so much by that point. So I don't know if that helps you or has helped your...
No, it does. I love that.
Yeah. Shannon, it has been such a pleasure having you here. I'm so glad you took the time. I appreciate your time. Wow. All I can say is thank you. I love you. The world loves you.
Oh, I love you too. And like, I love this. Like we are like casting a rock in the water. It's a ripple.
Yeah. Pebbles.
So, yeah. And I just really hope that if anyone's hearing this and my story resonate with you, reach out. Like I'm Shannon B on all the platforms. I have a YouTube channel. I have a few videos on there. I have like 50 followers, maybe 51, but they're being pumped out now. But I just really, one word that came up when I was journaling is that I want to be a fisherman of hearts. And I want to help. Yeah. I want to help.
Fisherwoman of hearts.
I know you said that, fisherwoman of hearts, but I want to help mend as many hearts as I can, because I was there. And I just want you to know that if you're listening to this and you're in a rough season in your life, that's okay, because you will get through it. Right. So reach out. I'd love to connect. You can ask anything. I am an open book. So yeah.
Everyone, will have all the contact information for Shannon and for Eric Biggers in the show notes. So thank you, everyone. Until next time, this is Amy, your Gray Girlfriend.
Hey, it's Amy. Did you know that what we tell ourselves about ourselves impacts every decision we make? Every decision. So if you're feeling stuck in any aspect of your life, RTT can help. Want to know more? Go to amyblairlawson.com or click on the calendar link in the show notes to schedule your complimentary 30-minute consultation. Oh, one last thing. I can't forget the legal stuff. You know what I'm talking about. The language a lawyers write that I have to read to you. Well, here it goes. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. While I am a rapid transformational therapy practitioner, a certified divorce financial analyst, and a licensed investment advisor, this podcast is not intended as a substitute for a private session or a consultation. Got it? All right. Until next time, wishing you peace and plenty of all good things.